Disney's one of the biggest film studios on the planet, and it's no secret that a role in one of their family-friendly blockbusters can make an actor's career. However, not everyone's eager to work with the Mouse House, and there are a number of stars who have actually refused major roles in big Disney movies and shows. Anne Hathaway. Although she did end up in the movie, Anne Hathaway actually had the opportunity to take the lead role in Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. The actress turned it down because she felt she had already played a very similar princess in a dress type role in The Princess Diaries. However, Hathaway told the studio she'd be willing to play the White Queen instead, and that's what she did. It ended up being a good decision, as Hathaway took home some awards for her turn as the White Queen, and it opened up the door for newcomer Mia Wasikowska to take on the role of Alice. Warren Beatty. Gilbert Gottfried's Iago provided the comic relief in Disney's Aladdin, always chiming in with a squawk or a screech to lighten the mood during some of the film's more intense moments.
Oh, Jafar, you're too kind. I'm embarrassed.
However, according to the actor, he almost didn't get the chance to play the iconic role. Gottfried revealed in his memoir that in order to land the part, he had to beat out Joe Pesci and Danny DeVito. Apparently, the role was actually offered to the star of the 2017 Oscars Best Picture mix-up, Warren Beatty. Beatty reportedly turned down the role because playing a parrot in the desert felt too similar to his role from Ishtar. Just imagine how different the film would have been without Gottfried's iconic squawk.
My wit's end.
Wit's end!
Billy Crystal. Toy Story is one of the most iconic films of all time, with a 100% critical rating on Rotten Tomatoes. While Tim Allen's work as Buzz Lightyear is classic, it turns out that the character was nearly brought to life by a different actor. Billy Crystal, who would become famous with Disney Pixar fans for voicing Mike Wazowski in Monsters, Inc., was offered the part in the early planning stages of the film. Apparently, Pixar was so eager to get him to sign on that the studio actually animated an early version of Buzz Lightyear with some dialogue from When Harry Met Sally. The result is interesting.
Happy everyone is in love, and that's wonderful. But you gotta know that someday, believe it or not, you'll go 15 rounds over who's gonna get this coffee table.
As we all know now, Crystal turned it down, and Tim Allen got the part. While Crystal has had a great career, he told ABC News in 2001 that passing on Buzz is actually something he regrets. Interestingly, the Pixar movie Crystal did appear in almost had a totally different co-star too. Bill Murray. In 2001, Monsters, Inc. became an instant classic for Disney and Pixar fans. The film won an Oscar and earned further accolades for each of its two main leads, Billy Crystal and John Goodman. But Goodman, who famously voiced Sully, almost didn't get the part. Director Pete Docter's top choice for the part was actually legendary comedian Bill Murray. The actor screen tested for the part and impressed Docter, but when he called to offer him the part, he couldn't get Murray to pick up the phone. The director of another Murray movie, St. Vincent, explained just how difficult it is to track the guy down, just to offer him work.
The job of Bill Murray is really finding Bill Murray, which everyone knows. Once you find Bill Murray, then the job kind of goes downhill.
Murray is notoriously hard to reach, so it's still unclear if this was his way of saying he wasn't interested, or it was just a miscommunication. Either way, you won't hear any complaints about it from John Goodman. Leonardo DiCaprio. Hocus Pocus may not have been the biggest Disney film of all time, but the movie has a huge cult following and is still the subject of many a Halloween movie marathon. The filmmakers were especially picky about searching for their star, and they eventually narrowed it down to the then up-and-comer Leonardo DiCaprio to play Max. Despite being offered some serious coin, DiCaprio turned down the part because he wanted to wait and see if he'd land the role in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Though it was likely terrifying at the time, DiCaprio has said that this was the best and toughest decision he has ever made. It definitely worked out for him, as Leo earned his first Academy Award nomination for What's Eating Gilbert Grape, and has been an A-lister ever since. Omri Katz, who eventually took the role of Max in Hocus Pocus, stopped acting in 2002. Lily Tomlin. While it's hard to imagine anything different in the Pixar classic The Incredibles, one of the film's signature characters was almost voiced by someone else. Edna Mode, the superhero stylist who really hates capes, was voiced by director Brad Bird in the final product.
No capes! No, go on.
However, that's not what he had intended. Apparently, when Bird recorded the voice for Edna, he was just filling in for actress Lily Tomlin, who was set to play the part. However, when she heard Bird's take on the character, she decided that it wasn't something she could improve on. You know you've made it in show business when you can pass on a Disney movie paycheck and not bat an eye. Michael Douglas. In 2013, Frozen became a commercial and critical success, bringing in over $1.3 billion and winning 2 Academy Awards. The voice acting in the movie was great, but the casting might have turned out differently. Michael Douglas told James Corden that he turned down a part in the film, but couldn't remember exactly which role.
Frozen? No! You were what, to play Elsa?
I don't remember.
Although we don't know for sure, our best guess is that Douglas was offered either the Duke of Weselton, Hans, or Kristoff. Although it would be funny, it's probably doubtful that Douglas was ever in line to voice Olaf. Selena Gomez. It's no secret that for many years, Selena Gomez was one of the queens of the Disney Channel network. What's surprising though is that Gomez actually ended up turning down the lead role of Mitchie in Camp Rock because she wanted to do more conventional and serious acting before ultimately transitioning into a more music-focused career. Gomez also reportedly turned down an undisclosed part in High School Musical 3 senior year for similar reasons. These days, Selena is one of the most successful pop stars around, but we have to wonder just how much her serious acting role in Spring Breakers really helped her cause. Jack Nicholson. Hercules is an animated Disney classic, and that's in large part thanks to James Wood's smooth-talking Hades.
Ladies, please. My fate is in your lovely hands.
However, the part was apparently written with Jack Nicholson specifically in mind, and the studio tried their best to land him for the role. While Jack liked the creative side of the deal, he and Disney were unable to agree on the business end of things, so he ended up walking away from the role. After testing actors like Robert Evans and John Lithgow, the filmmakers landed on Woods, and the rest is history. Could it be his great Hercules performance that prompted Seth MacFarlane's strange obsession with James Woods?
Because James Woods has you.
And I have James Woods, too.
Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.